It is that time of year, my AKAPADers. It's horror season. It's October. It's the 31 Days of Dread, where we do on this podcast, AKAPAD, the Film Buff Podcast. That's me. We do one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. This year, it's nothing but black and white movies. Let's go. This is one of my long-running griefs right now with all of entertainment, journalism, the people making the stuff, the people watching the stuff. Everyone's flipping out right now, and rightfully so, because it's a fantastic show. Wednesday put Jenna Ortega on the map. It's another stellar, transformative Netflix series to mine what they did and to resurrect the Addams Family franchise the way that they did. The Addams Family as a franchise is cultural for maybe the third time in my life, maybe the fourth. But people forget that this series started as a black and white comic strip. It continued. It hit the culture, hit the lexicon. 1964, black and white TV series. It was Addams Family and the Munsters. You would watch these two incredible shows. And I say incredible because the ideas, I think, are so wild and just crazy and nutty. And, you know, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But, boy, like, you sit down and you just don't take it seriously. You can sit down with both of those shows and with Addams Family. You can sit down and not take it seriously. But here's my gripe. You would say by today's standards that this series lasted 2 seasons. It's a failure. The standards back then for what was television / syndication success, meaning the network had to back a show long enough to get 5 years out of it. When you hit that 5-year mark, you would be able to syndicate it. This is infinite revenue, infinite ad dollars. The money would rain in. If the network was successful enough with enough of these shows, let's just say you had 10 of them. So 20, 30, 40. You'll never go out of business. That model is still alive today. Now, streaming comes in, and streaming just like disrupts all of it. Because streaming has a different revenue model. Any streaming service needs to build off of subscribers. Netflix, right, doesn't have to do advertisements. They have 100 million subscribers. I think they're at 93, 94 million at this point. But the other streaming services, well, they still have to roll in advertising. Amazon has to do it. It's not because they want the extra money or they can use the extra money. It's just as a sustainable model, the rest of these elements, we'll call them, are not sustainable. So they have to try something different. There's a reason why we don't get ads on Netflix. I still feel to this day Netflix knows the audience, can target the audience, can create content directed towards the audience quicker, faster than anyone else in the game. So Wednesday's here, right? We get 2 seasons, I think 18 episodes for Wednesday. But we get Addams Family, 1964. Two seasons, considered a failure, still culturally impactful. The theme song for this show is sung for decades. The theme song for this show is so monumental that when they made the Bo Welsh Addams Family ones, right? I believe, was it MC Hammer that redid the theme? He covered it or sampled it. Amazing stuff, right? I mean, but now the themes, right? Like, we get hints of the theme in the score of the show. Yada yada yada. But here's my 2 seasons, 64 episodes. 64 episodes. It would take Netflix 12 years to catch up to 64 episodes with Wednesday. Jenna Ortega will be living off of senior living by the time they get to 64 episodes. It doesn't mean what we have today isn't good, isn't satisfactory, but there was a little bit more of a creative / commerce engine, a true crossroads, a synergy at this time that people do forget. You can talk about Breaking Bad being the greatest whatever, Better Call Saul being the greatest spinoff, right? Like all these things. But you take a handful of those episodes and you throw them at Hill Street Blues, you don't get through season 2. Maybe a little bit into season 3. I'm talking about both of those shows. So I was recently watching the first episode of this series. And I was debating on, should I bring you this episode? Should I save the Addams Family episode for the 31 Days of Dread as a weekend, right? And there's a reason. Because on the weekends, we do animation here, guys. I am running low as a producer, planning things out. Aren't more black and white cartoons or stop and go animations. I was going to put Addams Family in on the weekends because it's kind of like a children's show, but it's not. And I feel like I would be discrediting how insanely funny and adult this show is, where you, as an adult, you have to have a morbid sense of humor. There's something interesting that you see spot on early. And keep in mind, Wednesday is our initial introduction character to this entire universe. This universe, the world of Addams Family, is so well embedded within the guts of the first episode. It's still mined to this day. Still highly important, highly significant, well executed. The acting, the jokes, Gomez, awesome. The grandmother there, like Uncle Fester with the light bulb, and the Uncle Fester light bulb bit would continue into the movies and the animated feature. So here's a little bit of a layout of this series since 1964. We have 64 episodes, 1964. The movie hits. Addams Family Values gets a sequel. Full R media push. We're talking cereal, trading cards, action figures, cartoon series. Very common in the 90s. Like Beetlejuice got a cartoon series. We talked about that here. They get a colorful cartoon series. Then, we get a lull period. Addams Family dies down. CGI, computer-generated, state-of-the-art, modern-day cinematic movie. So they bring them back in animation. And then from there, Wednesday emerges and becomes an absolute sensation. I mean, I can't walk around any grocery store right now without seeing Wednesday cereal. I believe there's Chips Ahoy. Everything's Wednesday and Stranger Things in Philly supermarkets right now. I call this show adult because I feel like you have to have a adult perspective to find it funny. You have to respect life and death. You have to respect the horrors of the world. You have to kind of make light of it. I believe that the Addams Family, starting with this series. Now, given I know the comic strip was popular, and it's a different time when comic strips were popular back then. They were very impactful, meaningful to a lot of people. That's because people read back then. So, but I feel you feel a little bit enlightened watching these earlier episodes. I'm going to continue checking them out. They're available right now on Amazon Prime. If you need something a little bit lighthearted, and I know we haven't been doing bangers this year for the 31 Days of Dread. So far, we've done silent movies, very old less than 10-minute long cartoons, and this. But tomorrow, and we're taking, I decided to take a little bit of break with some of the Asylum movies. But coming up, we'll do King Kong, we'll do Godzilla. This is a part where we're breaking it up just a little, so I'm playing with the programming. And pray for the weekend, because I don't know what I'm going to bring you guys. I'll figure something out. Guys, it's the 31 Days of Dread, the annual AKAPAD Film Buff Podcast event, where I bring you one horror movie, and in this case, franchise, a day for the entire month of October. Let's go.
Okay, that's a wrap.